Alright, this is the night of Friday, June 5th, in the year of our Lord 2020. Frickin' 6 somehow. We're far into the future, my god. And today was the second day of the theatrical release of the end of the Amazing Digital Circus. Also the day of Summer Games Fest, the modern stripped-down equivalent to E3. And we also just had the season-ending Fortnite Showdown event. Woo! That's a lot to take in. Right now, though, I'm going to focus on the existential dread clown cartoon.
Oh my god! ストピットビチよゲームクリプ先生
I'm going to start off spoiler-free here, then get into spoilers when I feel like it's required. I'll clearly warn you before I say any spoilers. Let's rip off the big band-aid right now. There was no way that something this hyped up was going to be able to satisfy all or even most viewers. Watching this thing was rough, and it was really hard-hitting, emotionally brutal, kind of difficult to watch even. And I guess that kind of says something to the credit of it, but I almost kind of regret just picking the show back up after I dropped it at episode 2. Because God, episode 2 was bad. But the middle of the series redeemed it quite a bit, so it was really good. And then I kind of expected that the ending wasn't going to be the best. Kind of expected a mediocre ending that wasn't going to fully satisfy. But I quietly hoped that I might get something better, just a little bit better than that. But, well, as much as I hate to say it, the ending was about as mid as I expected it to be. Very few questions were really answered, more were raised, and it ended up just not feeling especially satisfying overall. That is not to say that I hated it or anything, it just could have been better, but I don't know how I would have written it better because they overextended and made the plot a little too complicated. The series is one of the most technically impressive CGI series ever produced. Maybe the most impressive CGI series, if we're being honest. It amassed a ridiculously huge fan base, especially due to the mere exposure effect with the algorithm basically having forced it onto everybody's feeds for every single episode. And the plot was more complicated than most. There's almost no way to do any type of a satisfying conclusion in the face of such a crazy level of hype. As such, I'm not totally mad about it. So the conclusion, without going into spoilers, is I would say if you're interested in the series and you want to see how it ends, I would wait and watch it on YouTube. I am not really convinced that it's worth the excursion of going out to the theater. Although I will say seeing it in theater quality was pretty good. It looked amazing. There were also fans and cosplays and stuff. That was kind of cool too. I appreciate the effort that some of the other fans went to in like dressing up for it and stuff. I asked a couple people after the movie what they thought of it. They seemed to be like alright with it, but also kind of confused, like I was. From here on out, I'm going to have to probably get into the spoilers, so here's your warning. Click pause, like and subscribe, back out now, and come back later if you don't want spoilers. Alright, 3, 2, 1, a go. What I wanted to see from the final episode was basically what the deal with Jax was. That was pretty much the main thing that was built up throughout the series. And did they deliver on this? Yes, but not in a very satisfying way, I would say. See, the whole time, the root cause of Jax being the way he was his parents divorcing when he was early in high school. My parents divorced when I was 10, by the way. And then not having much of a connection at all with his father, and having a strained relationship with his mother, as far as I could tell, that culminated in an emotionally complicated exchange where he ends up accidentally shoving her against a wall really hard, and like he was afraid he might have hurt her really badly or even killed her, but probably not, and he ran away and he never looked back and he never saw his parents again. He tells this to this one person who has since abstracted And come to think of it, I don't even remember if there was an explanation as to what happens to abstracted people and how much of a chance they have at coming back. But he started glazing it over, trying to pretend like the conversation never happened. He was just so ashamed of it that it caused him to kind of push people away, including his sort of love interest, who then fell into despair and abstracted, and he probably could have prevented it if he hadn't pushed her away so much. Then he himself ends up abstracting. By the end of the episode, it's not even clear if they can for sure get him back to normal or not, and they reveal the real world counterparts to like the Digital Circus characters, like what their names are and their appearances and stuff, but then it's never made clear if they're even able to leave the circus and go back, or if the real world equivalents are even real, or if they're just made up. Kind of nothing got explained. I'm just gonna say it like it is. Kind of nothing got explained. And overall, like, I'd have to give it like a D if I'm rating it on a letter grade scale. The final episode was more like a setup for another season that would really finish off everything. Kind of like the old boomer show House MD, starring Hugh Laurie from back some time ago on Fox. Writing a good ending is really hard to do. I gotta acknowledge that. I don't even fault Gooseworks for like any of the writing. It could not have been easy to try to come up with a good ending for all that after setting so much up. But maybe they should not have made the story that complicated in the first place. It felt just overall kind of incomplete. I know that there's going to be a lot of analysis videos that are examining the fine details and trying to seek out the true meaning of everything, and once the dust has settled down a little bit, I'll probably check it out and see if anyone really manages to make sense of it. But like, if your ending requires an analysis video in the first place, you probably bit off more than you could chew and overextended anyway. And it can happen to the best of writers. I totally understand. I'm not going to throw any shade at anybody, but like, I do definitely feel that they probably could have just cut it down to 8 episodes, taken out some of the complexity, and made it a better series overall. But that's not what they did, and so be it. It's not my show. My show, I keep the writing simple with very good reasons, but I can't say I'm not somewhat disappointed, but like, it's an expected disappointment. There was too much hype to ever live up to. Watch it for yourself. Let me know if you got more out of it than I did. But I don't know. I really feel like it didn't stick the landing. There was no way to fully stick the landing, but it didn't even really come close, if I'm being honest. So here's hoping that Gameaverse does a lot better and doesn't have us waiting too long for that second episode, because honestly, Gameaverse frickin' slaps, and I'm pretty excited about it. Alright, later gamers, check out my recording of the Fortnite event that should be uploaded around the same time as this. Bye-bye.
Oh my god!
Hold up. So, about half an hour after I finished my initial recording here, something occurred to me. I did realize I figured out something about the ending. The characters in the Digital Circus are not exactly the same as the people on the outside. The people on the outside were basically copied and turned into the Digital Circus characters. So I think what we see happen is we see the circus characters being taught what the characters are backups. They're basically backups of people's minds uploaded into a computer program. So the real life equivalents are out there, but they both are and are not the same person. So essentially it's like a version of these people were copied and placed into the Digital Circus, but their actual real human forms are still there on the outside living their lives. Alright, so that's actually kind of interesting and adds a couple points to the ending, but then again, it loses points for this kind of ridiculous thing where everybody gets kind of an unearned happy ending in the real world, where like the movie just literally basically says, oh yeah, everyone like got a better career and like, oh yeah, they're all thriving and stuff. The digital circus backups are a little bit different from their real world equivalents, and they're just like basically connected to the internet now to learn what the hell's going on with their physical selves. Again, it invites more questions than it actually answers, but you know, I mean, okay, they could have done worse. It's decent, still not great.
ストピットビチをゲームクリプ先生